from mistakes, accept responsibility, and make better choices. Reintegration of child offenders into the community after rehabilitation benefits the child, the family, and the community with a more productive citizen. Join the movement to give our children a chance for change. This message is brought to you by the USAID OECS Juvenile Justice Reform Project 2, funded by the United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to oecs.org/JJRP.
But Jeff, you leaving already, boss? You sure you could drive after them drinks?
Yeah, I could handle it, And if I come here, I'm gonna take my time.
Oh my God, Jeff, you're gone. I told you not to drink and drive.
The problem with drinking and driving is the morning after. Drink responsibly.
This message was brought to you by the St. Kitts Nevis National Council on Drug Abuse Prevention in collaboration with SKNIS.
Hi, I am Mickey Stokes. Join me every Tuesday night from 8 until 12 on ZIZ Radio for National Showcase. It's 4 hours of the best in local music as we feature the songs, singers, and bands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Join us and enjoy a better mix of local music every Tuesday night from 8 until 12 with yours truly, Mickey Stokes.
Join ZIZ Television every Monday at 8:30 in the evening for HealthWise. It's a program to keep you healthy and wise. Join the discussions to look at issues that affect your health. That's HealthWise live on ZIZ Television, Mondays at 8:30 in the evening. Tune in.
Tune in for Policing with You, a half-hour radio program every Thursday morning at 9:15 on ZIZ Radio. Join host Inspector James Francis of the Criminal Investigations Department as he focuses on crime, factors contributing to criminal activity, crime prevention, and how the community can assist the police in reducing crime. It's Policing with You every Thursday morning at 9:15 on ZIZ Radio. Join us.
Let me tell you something. Every Monday and Thursday night from 8 until 10 p.m. on ZIZ Radio Power 96.1, tune in for Straight Talk.
Your job is to serve the people, not to get in the back and forth that sometimes as humans, people can say things about you and you believe there's a limit. But the one who wears the armor and carries the name of God, let him fight your battle.
It's a program where you can share your views.
Well, I don't usually call into the radio station, but I had to call in. I was in the Federation over the weekend and I was quite impressed. Flew in over Port Dante and I see the development happening there. I drive up in the east in your area for years and years and years. That area has been neglected. Those houses there on the other side of Mr. Byron gas station was. See y'all getting ready to do something about it.
Ask your questions.
What Douglas want to do? Be a Satan and judging sin?
And speak your mind.
Good evening to you, Patches, and good evening to your listeners, home and abroad. One good term deserves another. And like I said, one good term deserves another.
Tune in every Monday and Thursday night from 8 until 10 p.m. right here on ZIZ Radio with your host, Ian Patches Liebert for Straight Talk.
It's the morning show.
Why, la 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 la, yes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Gonna lift my voice and praise it. Gonna shout it, go sing it loud. In the morning I say my praise, thank you Father for another day. Let me clear it right away. I'm alive. here I am, still give thanks. Ask me how, I don't know, I ain't no pro. But I'm alive, yeah, I'm alive. I see the sun and I see the rain. Yes. I feel joy in my Father's name. A tear might fall every now and then. I still give thanks to the full extent. Yes, now up in the morning I say my prayer. Thank you, Father, for another day. Let me clear it right away. I'm alive, yes, I'm alive, man. I'm in the back, hope no rank, but here I am. Still give thanks. Ask me how, I don't know, I ain't no pro, but I'm alive.
25 minutes, moving on to the hour of, to 10 o'clock, I should say. And it's now time for a conversation with those guys from the fire department.
In case you don't know us, you're just twisting that dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from out of St. Kitts.
Welcome back to our program. Let's say good morning to Timothy and Rommel. Good morning, guys. How are you all doing today?
Morning. We are
good
excellent.
Morning, GQ.
Awesome.
Nice one.
Nice. Good morning, listening public.
All right, what's on the agenda?
Well today.
Nice, man. What's on the agenda for this morning, gentlemen?
Well, this morning we want to speak about a fire that occurred in Nevis. That would have been sometime last week. And we recognize that the public, they had some things out there on social media that, we think it best, just to discuss and kind of clear the air and a few things.
Okay. All right. So who's going to start the ball? Rommel, you going to start the ball, or you're going to continue, Timothy?
He'll continue. I'll come in.
Okay.
All right. So the exact situation that we are speaking about, our incident we are speaking about, is the fire at the Bath Hotel. Now, it was on Tuesday, the 18th of May. The fire department, we received a call at about 17:21, which is 21 past 5 in the afternoon. And so we responded to that fire at the Bath Hotel. When our officers arrived on scene, we pretty much jumped into action to try to get the fire quenched. Now, on social media, we recognize that persons were complaining of the fact that, hey, the fire officers, they were standing around, not doing anything while the fire is burning. Some persons, they messaged me asking me, hey, why was this? So we have spoken on a number of things pertaining to the fire appliance in previous shows. Now, we just want to remind the public that, one, the fire appliances, they're not everlasting when it comes to water. They will run out at some point in time. So ever so often, the appliance have to go and get replenished with water from a hydrant. So the truck had to go to get refilled about 3 times. So in total, the amount of water that had to be used to extinguish the fire amounted to like 4,000 gallons of water.
Wow.
The truck holds 1,000 gallons of water. So the truck came full, had to be emptied, replenished, a number of 3 times, making it a total of 4,000. Right. So when in the videos that were going around, when the officers were actually standing by, it was due to the fact that the truck had to go and get replenished to come back in order for them to join the fight again. This was not an easy fire, as you could, I don't know if you saw the video, but the blaze, it was really intense. And the heat that would have given off, knowing the structure was an old structure. It was constructed of stone and wood. These these type of timber, they we like to say that fire loves those type of timber because it burns more intense.
Right.
And another misconception out there, it's talked about the size of the truck. Now there's a saying, size doesn't matter. But if the truck that is presently in Nevis, the one that they had previously, it was taller, and I don't think it is as wide. I think it's a little bit narrower. Correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, but basically the one they have now is an American spec. The one that was there, it's a European spec. That truck, as he mentioned, it's a taller truck, and it is narrower than the US spec. The US truck is about 8 feet wide, 8 feet plus wide. This one is a little narrow, but it is taller, which would make it look bigger. Well, it is a bigger truck physically. The physical size, it is bigger than the one that they have
But the
now.
volume is less.
But the water quantity, they are the same.
They are the same.
Oh, they're the same.
1,000 gallons
They carry
for
the
each.
same amount of water, right? So you can't look at the physical size and determine the water capacity. You would have a wrong calculation. And when it comes to these trucks, as we would have mentioned in a previous show, you have to take into consideration the rate of discharge when it comes to the water, because even though the trucks look bigger, they carry the same amount of water, but you take into consideration the rate of discharge. If you have the two trucks side by side and one is pumping at 1,000 gallons per minute and the other one is pumping at 200 gallons per minute, of course this one is going to finish faster because the rate of discharge is higher, but it doesn't mean that one carry more than the other. Right? So, and as we would have mentioned, these trucks can pump 700 gallons in 1 minute. Again, depending on the rate of discharge. So this is what we need to take into consideration, and not just look at this truck, or we had a bigger truck. It means that you would have had more water. That is a wrong perception.
Yes.
Both trucks carry the same amount, and you probably would have had the same issue. That truck would have had to leave, and then depending on the location of the closest hydrant, that's another factor you have to take into consideration, because the closest hydrant might be 2 miles away. So then the officers would appear to be standing around, but they're just actually waiting for the appliance to get back. So these are some of the factors we need to take into consideration before we make assumptions that or we're just standing around, or this is a bigger truck, and if this truck was here we would have had more water. That is not the case. The water capacity, they are the same. The physical size is just different because different manufacturers, different regions. That's the difference. But the water is the same.
I don't want to maybe hit it home a bit. I want to use a gas tank cylinder, for example. These small gas tanks that we use for inside, persons have inside. Now, if you look at some of those gas tanks, you would recognize that some of them are taller, some of them they're a bit more rounder, but they essentially hold the same amount of gas inside them. It's just a matter of the shape of the cylinder. So it's the same thing applies to the both fire appliances. They hold the same amount of water, 1,000 gallons. They both have off-road capability. They both four-wheel drive. So it's just that one is a European spec and another one is a
American.
American
They
spec.
both carry the same amount of officers.
Wow, the same amount of officers as well. So same volume of water, same amount of officers, but just a different size in terms of the physical size of the appliance, if I can use that term. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, the one that Nevis had before, it's the brand is a MAN, so we call it the MAN truck. That one is currently in St. Kitts. It was under some extensive repairs. It needed to come down, and that is why the Timberwolf, that's the one that is over in Nevis right now. That is the reason why that one went over. He had to come over to undergo some repairs. While the parts on them, they have to come, because the European spec, they come from a bit further, and it's not parts that we could get just like that at a snap of a finger, readily. So the parts on them eventually arrived, but it just so happened that one of our appliances in St. Kitts went down around the same time. So that man truck had to be utilized in St. Kitts a bit longer, because the expense of sending it over to send over the other truck when the truck is right here, we in comparison, you know. So we opted to go with the it's here already, so let me just utilize it here. So Nevis should be seeing it over shortly, as long as the truck that is down is in St. Kitts is back up and running. They should see their truck back over in Nevis.
So they should have 2 trucks, or is this going to be the replacement? Swap out?
It would be a replacement for now, but like I said, currently for Nevis, there is the Newcastle station. There is a truck being constructed for that station.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Roman, you were going to say something? You changed your mind. All right. So what I'm gathering from you gentlemen is that the perception in the ear is that the fire department wasted time and could have prevented more damage, if I can put it that way. Or am I wrong?
But that is furthest from the truth, though. We take our job seriously, and we value, every structure that is there. That Bath Hotel, it was deemed a historical site. Tourists, when they come here to the island of Nevis, that is one of the places that they want to go and see, or the hot stream, and so that had a bit of history for Nevis, and seeing it go up in smoke like that, it was very heart-wrenching.
Hence the public scrutiny that you guys are getting
I
right
do
now.
believe so. I do believe so.
Have you guys done an investigation as to the cause of the fire?
Well, that investigation is normally done by the investigation team. That is comprised of police and fire. So that team, once we have fires of that nature, that type, or any other fires, it could be a bush fire, but they might have been suspected arson, they would get involved, and they are the ones who basically do the investigation as it relates to those fires, and then they would forward their reports wherever it needs to go. So yes, those fires are investigated, and reports are submitted. We are not in a position to give any detail as it relates to the reports, but the reports are done by this team, and this team is a professional team. So.
Well-rounded.
Can I ask you gentlemen to put on your headphones, and let's take our first call this morning. Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hey, man, we are
Good
quite
morning,
okay.
sir.
Thank you very much for the program of information and education. But I only have 2 questions for you. Knowing that we have lots of chiefs now, is the same fire chief in charge of all the fire department, airport, cover everything, the blanket? That's one. The other question is, how good is the relationship between the fire department in the city, rural area, and the airport? So if you need help, can you summon them based on the knowledge of what they have in the activities at the airport to get to whatever happening in the city to help cover and help you back up? Until that is over, they go back to their normal place. Thank you very much. I listen out here.
All right. Do you have a question, gentlemen? Go ahead.
Yes, so I will answer the second question first. All the stations basically, yes, we have a station for each district. But if there's a fire of any size or magnitude that require backup, we always call on another station, the closest station, and sometimes we have to call both Tabernacle and Sandy Point to come in and back up, and vice versa. If the rural stations need backup, then the urban, the Bastille station would back up. And yes, again, depending on the nature and the size of the fire, if we do need to ask for backup from the airport, they all fall under the same umbrella. They are headed by one chief. So we basically call them for assistance, as we have done before, at a fire at Horsford, just on the south side of the square. We would have had to take one of the airport trucks, which are much like 2 times bigger than the trucks that normally be used in the city. So it's not too easy to maneuver these trucks in traffic and what's not. So that's why you won't see them so often. And of course, we don't normally require the assistance. However, once one of those trucks are removed from the airport, it affects the airport and it affects the category of the airport. So we don't. Airport is not our first choice, because we still need to have adequate protection or response for the airport, which is the gateway, as he said, to the country. So yes, we have good communication with our fire stations. Again, they fall under one umbrella. They're headed by one chief, and so in that regard, we don't have any issues.
All right. 465-2555, just in case you have a question for the officers. 718-577-2916 for those of you who are overseas and viewing or listening to this program right now. If you have a question, you can do so. In the meantime, Timothy, do you have anything else to add that you want to clear the air on, seeing that this is your platform?
Well, for one, we just want to urge the public again in hearing the sirens, the emergency sirens, to pull over. We are still having cases where persons are trying to compete with the fire appliances. Pull over to the left. Allow the appliance to get to where it needs to go to help the community.
Okay. What about you, Amel? Anything from you?
Yes. What I want to say is we value opinions and all of the criticism and the scrutiny and what's not. We basically use that as tools to basically look at our performance, see if there is any truth to what is being said, so that we could better our performance. And as we did this morning, there are some times that we really need to clear up some misconceptions before persons feel like that is what it was, or that is what happened. But at the same time, we take what is said and we look back at our operations and what we did and see if there really is any truth to what was said, and not just get defensive. We really have to look at ourselves and see, hey, let me see if we made a mistake anywhere that person saw that we need to address going forward. I would also like to say, though, the fire department is open.
Yeah, hold on, coming to you right now.
The fire department is open. And if persons see, if the public see anything, they could, call the fire department, ask questions, so that we can clear up some of these things, because they might not understand what they see at the time. And if they call us and then we could say, well, this is why we did what we did, then they would have a better understanding, so that they would not be readily go out into the social media and, say things that they really cannot prove or justify, however the case is.
Caller, you're live. Go ahead. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, good day.
Good day.
Question. In relation to the trucks at the airport, doesn't the time of day, doesn't that determine whether the truck can move from the airport or not?
Thank you for your question.
Well, the answer to that question would be, again, I go back to depending on the size and the nature of the fire. There might be times where you have to literally lock the airport down. If you could go way back to when we had the Kobe fire, you see the size of that fire. you would need all available sources to contain a fire of that size. Now, God forbid if we have another fire that size, we have to make a decision regardless to the time of day. We have to make a decision to either shut the airport and divert flights to a neighboring country and get the resources needed, because the trucks at the airport, they carry twice as much water. They carry foam, they carry dry powder, which would be very helpful in combating fires of this size.
Right.
So we have to make a determination. Yes, it might be midday, it might be 4 o'clock when traffic is heavy.
We're coming to you now.
But again, depending on the nature and size and the urgency, neighboring buildings, you have to protect, prevent exposure. Exposure protection has to come into play. So yes, the time of the day is a factor, but sometimes you have to overlook that factor depending on the need. Right?
Thank you for your patience. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning. A wonderful Tuesday morning to you guys. Wonderful program.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
You guys, your lives are endangered. You know, your jobs are very serious, you know, and we appreciate you. You're going to be critics, but whatever you do, you put the best foot forward, and you make sure you ask God to cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus, because anything can happen when you guys are out there. This fire that you're talking about, was it something recent?
Yes,
you're talking about the fire over in Nevis?
It was in Nevis.
Yes, the Bath Hotel fire. It was actually last week, Tuesday, the 18th of May.
I wasn't even aware of that. But as you spoke about the old-time wood, I know what you're talking about, because I worked at Cooley. I don't know if you remember a few years ago when there was a fire at Cooley, at the Bay Road.
Yes.
And I was working there, and I went to Nevis this Saturday afternoon. And on the Monday morning when I'm on the boat coming down, I still see smoke because of the old-time wood. So I know what you're talking about. You know, wonderful program, as I said, and whatever you do, you just make sure you do the best.
Yes, thank you very much.
Appreciate your comment.
You're going to hear good, you're going to hear bad, but be encouraged.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day.
Same
to you, man.
Thank you.
Yes,
Have a good
man.
day.
You too, my dear. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. Let's take this call. Good morning. You are live.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a little question. Let me move away. That I need to ask. In seeing that we are upgraded and updated, and this is the modern time now, I was calling to find out if the fire department, which is a truck, it could be police also, but I know this is the fire section. If you guys have upgraded or updated dash cam. Why I ask this, because I myself as a driver has witnessed several times where the fire truck especially is bearing down on its horn with the siren, and the traffic, the car or whomever may be directly in front of the fire truck, then I move. And it saddens my heart, because you don't even know if it's your mom they're going to try and save. So that is the reason why I ask about the dash cam. So this way you don't have to stop and write that, okay, it was PA such and such and such. At least you have a dash cam to witness. This person has, tried to, not try to move while you're going on an emergency. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks for your concern and your question. Timothy?
What I would say is that we have had discussions about having, putting dash cams on our appliances, both the fire truck and the utility vehicles. So it's definitely something that we would look into further and see if we could get it to
be implemented.
Yes.
Good morning. You're live.
Yes, dash cam is a good. It's a good thing to have. It's an expensive project. I carry it, but it's a very good thing to do. The question that I want to ask though is, how are you functioning in your daily duties in terms of going to a fire and dealing with a fire? Are you satisfied that the crowd control that you have is adequate? The traffic control is adequate? Is it controllable? Have it been done that you guys reach across to the police and say to the commissioner, Commissioner, before we used to have police that will shut down and have crowd control, that wherever a police officer is, he will take control and separate crowd from the fire, stop the traffic. They jump into action as soon as the sittings happen. That's happening because I know before, once the fire bell ring, all officers fall in for duty. How adequate does that work for you? Is it functioning? I'm just listening out here.
How is that? You're getting support from the police?
To answer that question, yes, once the fire bell goes down, all fire officers respond. We have been separated from police for 21 years now. But there are cases where we get to the scene and we sometimes meet police on scene. There are sometimes we get to the scene and there is no police on scene. No fault of theirs. They just probably would not have received the information. But there are sometimes when crowd control is very important, especially when it comes to combating the fires. And we don't always have a police on scene to do crowd control. So sometimes they will find that a fire officer would have to do that, but the crowd would not so readily respond to a fire officer as they would to a police. And so we definitely would need to have a better collaboration. And again, it is not any fault of the police that they are not on scene. Again, we just need to, work something out so that whenever we receive a call, the call is sent over to them and see how possible they could dispatch a unit to the scene to assist in crowd control. And again, sometimes there really isn't a need for it. And again, it depends on the nature of the call. If where we are going, we know that there's a possibility of a huge crowd, then the police should be informed. If we're going to a bush fire, there really isn't any need for that. Because we would not want to, again, waste the resources of the police who could better utilize someplace else. But yes, we all it needs is better collaboration between both entities, and I'm sure that would not be an issue.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to take our final call and we're going to wrap things up. Good morning, you live.
Yes, good morning again.
Yes.
In relation to controlling at the scene and traffic diversion, doesn't the Fire Act give you that authority as fire officers?
Thank you for your question.
Yes, the Fire Act does give us certain responsibilities as it relates to traffic. We could actually lock down a street or lock down a section of an area to divert traffic to allow smooth operations. But sometimes it again, you would need, but once we lock down the road, we don't need to have somebody manning that point. But there are sometimes where we need to be actually controlling traffic. So then it means I would have to take away a guy from the if I respond with a crew of 6, then I have to take one of the 6 to divert traffic, which leaves me with 5, right? And then if I have to take another guy to do crowd control, it leaves me with 4. So I'm using my resources where I need it elsewhere. And this is where if we have police assisting, so then we could have police dealing with traffic while we deal with the fire.
And dealing with the crowd and vice versa.
But yes, our act does give us certain powers to deal with traffic as it relates to locking down and diverting traffic elsewhere to afford a smooth operation. Yeah.
All right. I know that's going to take our last call there, but I see one more person calling, so we're going to make this our final one, and then we're going to call it that for the morning.
Yes.
All right, let's try this one. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Is that policing with you?
Oh, no, this is Fire Talk.
Oh, Fire Talk. Oh, all right. I wanted to speak on the one that says policing with you.
Oh, that's a rebroadcast that you're watching there on TV.
Okay, thank you.
All right, man.
Okay.
Well, that's it for this morning. Thank you guys for being here. And I do hope the public understands that you were not just linemen and being neglectful and didn't care about the structure that was on fire there the other day. That is not your MO, if I can put it that way. And I'm glad that you clarified the whole appliance situation, even though in appearance one might look bigger than the other one.
Yes.
They are indeed hold the same amount of water and same amount of officers, which is adequate for the task at hand. We still have to take in mind of where to go and refill, and sometimes it's the closest point is actually the furthest point. Unfortunately, and sometimes it's adequately in its right name, close. So I want to thank you guys for that, and I do hope the public, understands and how can I put it, yield in or curve their criticism, at least when it comes to that situation and others, and be more mindful and think before they jump to conclusion, because your guys' life at stake still.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for being here. Look forward to you guys next week, and thanks to everyone for either viewing the program or listening.
All right.
Until next time, take care of yourself, man.
Thank you very much.
In case you don't know us, you're just twisting that dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from out of St. Kitts.
It's Domino's $30 Latch Pizza Special, happening every day at 5 p.m. until closing. Save yourself $8.50 and take advantage of this fantastic deal and get a Latch Pizza for only $30. However, this promotion is only available